Hi, Niro Thambi Pillay from Investment Rise here, and today I want to look at the dangers of investing in areas that you know. Now, that might seem a little contradictory to some of the information you've read out there, which says that you should only invest in areas that you know. And that does make sense, but when someone comes to me and says, Niro, look, I understand the areas that you're talking about have great capital growth potential, but I don't necessarily know those areas. But I know my local area, I know the suburb next door to me. Shouldn't I be investing in those areas because I know them? Well, then I then say, look, let's look at how well you know these areas. Let's look at the 6 questions you need to have answered before you even start to consider whether an area is worth your investing. Number 1, what's the expected capital growth rate of the area? Number 2, what's the vacancy rate of the area? Number 3, what's the expected population growth? Number 4, what's the expected increase in investment coming into the area? Number 5, what's the ratio of owner-occupied properties in the area to tenant-occupied? Or put differently, what's the ratio of owner-occupied houses to investor-owned houses in the area? And number 6, what's the expected cash flow of the property that you're looking at or property in that area? And you know, when I ask these questions, I mean no offense when I do, but when I ask these questions to most people, you know what the answers are? Don't know, don't know, don't know, don't know. Don't know, don't know. You see, when you look at an area, you're looking at it from perspective, especially these people, when they say they know an area, they know it from the perspective of what it is to live in the area. In fact, they're comfortable in the area because they know it, they've been there a few years, they know the local suburb or the area next door, whatever it is. But that doesn't mean that they know the area from an investment perspective. And that's what you need to look at. You need to look at it from an investment perspective, not necessarily because you love the area, not just because your kids go to school in the area. These are what it's like to live there. That's great. And they do come into it, I understand that. But they're not the key factors to begin with. Those 6 questions that I mentioned earlier on is where you need to begin. And once you understand those 6 questions, once you understand the answers, then you can consider whether an area is worth your investing. See, because otherwise you make a typical mistake that I've seen so many times. Let me give you an example of a client who made this mistake. He had a property in Sydney, his own home. Over the last few years, he's had $250,000 in capital growth. Fantastic. And you know what he did? He then went and refinanced that property, took the equity from some part of that equity from that property, and bought the house in the next street, in the same suburb, expecting to get growth again. Now, what's going to happen? It's highly unlikely he's going to get that growth again in Sydney. The price is so high at the moment. So he's now going to be sitting with a home that he's leveraged up, and he's bought a property right next door. Both of them just going to be sitting there, not getting any growth, and then he's going to complain that property investing doesn't work. So a lot of people, when they say they know the areas because they're comfortable, because they're scared of investing elsewhere. But when you understand the key questions to ask, and by the way, I just gave you 6. In fact, in my upcoming book, The Ultimate Property Investor's Checklist, I give you 23 questions that you need to consider before looking to invest. And once you understand the key questions to ask, you then stop looking at things from an emotional perspective. You start looking at things from a rational perspective, a numbers perspective, and that's when you start making the right investment decisions for you. I really hope this video has helped. Please share it if you know someone who's looking to invest in a property. And if you've got any thoughts or questions, please leave me a comment below. Bye for now.